Let me get my monitor out of the way. My name's Fantastic Frankie. Happy Friday, everyone. Very excited to have you here. Let me make sure I'm right up in this mic so you guys can hear me. A lot to talk about today. So I just wanted to, wait for a couple of viewers to get in as always. And then once we got a couple of views, I want to just really get into it today because we got a lot to talk about. I'm hoping that you guys saw Falcon and Winter Soldier. And if you haven't, now is officially the time for you to dip because we got some major spoilers here. So welcome everyone who hasn't been here before. If this is your first time, my name is Fantastic Frankie. I'm a nerd commentator. And sometimes I do fun stuff like I don't know, reviews and things like that. But for the most part, I spend my time dissecting comics, anime, fantasy, sci-fi, and kind of correlating it to our real life, which is becoming a lot easier as of late with just the things that we've been getting. So welcome everyone to Fighting Words. So stoked that y'all are here. And yeah, let's get started. All right. Oh, I went back to scene one. My bad, y'all. Let me make sure I can see all of your... Who's the what's its? Of course I moved that. Sorry, y'all. All right. Let's get started. So I'm going to cover both of the episodes today, but today I really wanted to talk about Captain America before we really get started because there's a lot of things here that I'm confused about and would love to get your insights on. If you guys are up to date on everything in the MCU, Captain America decided to live his life out from the time that he went under the ice until the end of the events of Endgame. And that's when he resurfaced as, I guess, Captain America. So essentially there's a timeline when Captain America is frozen for 90 years. And then there's also a timeline where Captain America lives as some unknown figure for a certain amount of time. And excuse me, let me make sure. Actually don't have it here. I can't see what you guys are saying here. Oh no. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about first what's been going on here, like what's been going on within the 90 years that he's been gone. And I think that's something worth exploring, something that would be a series that I would love to watch. But either way, I'm very curious as to why he actually chose the Falcon. Good. I finally got you guys in here on the multi-stream. First timers, hello, Joe. Just under 70. All right. Second episode or the first. This is for both episodes. And before I get into either one of the episodes, I just wanted to take time and talk about that place, that 90-year time that, Steve Rogers was living as just a free white man that we're assuming was married to Peggy Carter. If you guys watch the Peggy Carter show, we find out that she does get married to someone that we don't know. And I think they mention it in the MCU as well. And I guess it could be assumed that it's this version of Steve Rogers. But where my real things come is what led him to the decision to choose Sam over Bucky. And I get what you guys are saying here. Sam embodies more Cap's belief. I thought Captain America couldn't age. So that's the thing. Captain America can age and does. He just does it at a way slower pace. And we're going to get into the events that happened in the second episode soon, but that's kind of clear that they don't quite age. It's just that they're a super version of what we are. So this version that I have displayed here, this Captain America is essentially like 140 years old, something like that, and he looks great for his age. I mean, he's walking, he carried that shield around. And I see what you guys are saying. Sam never killed anyone by brainwashed. That's true, but this is why I want to know what happened during that time that Captain America was Steve, whatever. We're gonna call him John Doe. Did he help fight in the civil rights movement? You know what I'm saying? Like he fought for the world, but did he fight for the blacks? You know, remembering that he has a black friend. That's something I have down here that I really wanted to know. Also, was he that creepy uncle with Sharon Carter who's like looking at her all funny, like, yeah, you're really gonna grow into yourself, and I'm gonna boink you when you do. Because he does. He sleeps with her, and I think that's really weird, especially since he essentially becomes her uncle, right? Or uncle-in-law or whatever, but she's probably raised by this man and didn't even realize it, which is odd. Sam is from the modern world. You guys are saying Sam is from the modern world, but I don't think that that's a reason to say that he's more qualified than Bucky. And I'm going to get to why I'm asking this question. But I mean, Captain America wasn't from this age either. He was doing fine. Let's see what else Bucky has too much history as an assassin for Hydra, which is kind of a conflict of interest and would be a PR nightmare. But this is what I'm saying. Cap chose a black man after seeing the events of the civil rights movement. I don't know. This is 2023. Did Trump become president? Were the Proud Boys running around? Like, how does America look in the MCU for him to be like, this black man is a great candidate for the representative of America? Like, was he there when Barack Obama got elected? These are the questions I need to ask before I move forward with this decision. I want you guys to think about it too. You guys are doing the logical things, but you got to remember it's more than qualifications being Captain America. Think of All Might. If you guys watch My Hero Academia, All Might was more than just being strong, because his competitor, the number 2 hero, Endeavor, you could argue that he's equally as strong, but there's an aspect of like, how much do people like you? You're representative. How does a country perceive you? And I think with Captain America, that's what the U.S. government is saying. That's why they chose him and things like that. And it's just a question that I really want to go. Captain was probably at the bus boycotts, and he said, yeah, Sam getting this shield. Yo, that may have been it. Was he? But this is my question. I need to know, like, was Cap just living a quiet life, or is he like one of the single greatest white civil rights leader, you know? Like, is he out here? Was he sitting with Bernie Sanders getting hosed? That's what I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, there's some questions here, right? And actually, it's funny. I have a picture of him with Peggy. Not with Peggy, with Sharon. But this is what I'm saying. Like, having the knowledge of how you lived your life the first go round, and then reliving the event, especially seeing this child get born and things like that. How do you live? You know what I mean? How do you move? That's what I really want to know. And I'm not seeing no answers here yet. This is over 3 platforms. Maybe because him and Sam built special bond, like in the comics. Do you feel like Sam and... Okay, now this is one thing I do have to admit that we forget. Sam and Captain America was away together for 2 years on this romantic, Bonnie and Clyde were on the run at the events of Civil War. They dropped off Bucky and then they did their own thing. So that could contribute to it as well. But I guess what I'm thinking here and what I'm getting at here is that, Cap doesn't think things through. And that he believes the best in people. And I think that's why he chose Sam above all else. He's obviously qualified, things like that. But there's, I don't think it's something that's been thought through. And the reason why I said that, and excuse the pixelation, it looks better on my screen. But what he doesn't realize is the weight. How many black friends did Steve Rogers get? To understand that being the first black anything after especially going after this like super white. Yo, Captain America is the whitest of white men. He's accepting and things like that, but he's blonde hair, blue eyed, tall, muscular, all around white man. And then you replace him with Anthony Mackie. That's who y'all want, Anthony Mackie. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry, the mic keeps on moving, but I couldn't fathom thinking that America would be open to moving from him to him. And I'm not saying it's not that he's qualified. What do we know about qualifications? Truly. Whenever government, we know somewhat, but his qualifications may not seem it. But beyond that, something that we're not stressing enough, and it's an argument I get all the time that I'm surprised that we're all fighting for him to become Captain America, but Sam Wilson has an established hero moniker. He's fought, Thanos as Falcon. He's done so much as Falcon. It's so presumptuous of Captain America to feel like, yo, okay, of course you want to be Captain America. So go ahead and you become Cap, and everything will be, it's your turn. You've worked hard enough with me, and just him giving that shield. At first I was hyped. And it could be the endorphins that gave me between that all woman scene. I definitely fell for that trap, and and then right after I see a black man get the shield, I'm like, yo, this is incredible. But then like looking back on it, I'm like, whoa, is it? Like, is this what he wants? I'm not sure. And I don't think it wasn't even a discussion that he had with him. He wasn't like, oh, well, we talked about this. This is something that you want. He was like, here, I'm tired. Take it, please. I'm just going to go to comment and see what we got here. Steve probably didn't think that's why he chose Sam. Agreed. That's where I'm getting at. I think that the gag in the show, right? Falcon was immediately passed over for a white man. And this is the thing. And something that they established in this episode is that Falcon was... Now, he may have been passed over in some shady way, right? Like, let's say your boss wants to fire you and they can't figure it out, and they wait until you're like fucking 5 minutes late and then they do it. But he wasn't passed over. He didn't realize that Monica was still up after he said no. He thought, okay, Captain wanted me, I said no, boom. But he wasn't passed up. He declined the offer and then was like, just put the shield in the museum. So I think that's something that is defining here, that Cap. And you see, we got let's talk a little bit about this. I forgot this Latino boy's name, but he does serve as Red Wing, and he does replace him. So maybe they are leaning towards him becoming Cap. But if I'm being honest, I don't really want that. I don't. I really want Sam to kind of live in his truth and be like, I'm my own hero. That's fine. And then we kind of move to other people becoming Captain America, who they've already introduced, and I'm going to discuss in a bit. And I love what James L. River just said. Sam and Cap lived in two different Americas, culturally and racially. They see the country with different eyes. Exactly. And that's what I'm getting at. Sam was giving this, even though Steve Rogers lived twice, he still doesn't get it, right? And the same with Bucky. We see that in the scene, when, Sam is racially profiled. We see that in that scene, and I think that it's important to know that. I think it's important to know, like, yo, these are two different Americas, and the thought of what it would mean for me to become the symbol of America hasn't been thought through, and I need y'all to. And it's more than that. Is Sam the type of soldier who's not going to play ball? And this is the thing. Sam is a soldier, and I think he was in the Air Force. He was a soldier. So I think if he believes in a cause or he signs up for something, he's going to listen. But if he doesn't have to, he won't. But I do think there's some deference there, that I think is something to live by. So I feel you, Slim, but why not both? The hardest drag of legacy characters is that there's not the same spotlight to the original Black heroes. And that's what I'm saying. There's so much commentary, and y'all, I'm gonna admit it, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. I was like, this is gonna be some bro-y like buddy cop show that's kind of gonna hold us over until Loki and all that comes on. But it's actually becoming a commentary on, you know, Black characters, Black heroes, replacing a white hero, and then also what do you do with your original Black hero. And I think they're doing it gracefully, and I'm really excited to see. And they're injecting diversity without it being pushed, right? Nobody has been whitewashed or blackwashed yet. This is all going through the comics, so all you like heavy comic heads who are like, Sam is supposed to be, you know, 1/8 Jamaican, and you know, Anthony Mackie is from South Carolina, you know, like people like that, they're still standing by, you know, what the characters are truly race wise, and it's actually serving the story. I love it. Now someone's saying, what about David Doyle got the secret word here. What about the fact that there was already a Black Captain America and America treated him like trash? I'd be scared if Sam to be Captain America. And this is the thing. If you guys haven't learned from WandaVision, people who read the comics, we don't know what is going on. We don't. We know the direction. We know who they're supposed to play and maybe characteristics. But if WandaVision, and I feel like they trolled us a little bit on purpose with the like absurd amount of Easter eggs that they put in there, only to let us know that the MCU is independent of the comic books. And I think you guys should remember that. So yes, there was a Black Captain America, but was there a Black Captain America in this universe, or was there a Black super soldier? And that's something I really want to touch on today. But let's touch on the real subject here. This is why I mean my title card today. Captain America and Bucky are gatekeeping. They're gatekeeping. Yeah, I wholeheartedly was watching them, and I was like a little angry with them. The funny thing is, first of all, let's talk about Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell is my man. Oh, good, you guys can see my mic. My man right here. Kurt Russell has lost. He got in shape for this role, shaved his beard. And you know what? I respect him for it. If you guys don't know, I called him Kurt Russell. I'm sorry. His name was like Wyatt Russell, but he's Kurt Russell's son and Goldie Hawn. I really like him as an actor. He's been in a couple things. You guys may know him from Black Mirror. But when he was debuted last week in the first episode as like the scab that kind of, you know, took Sam Wilson's place, you know, I didn't like him. Why would I like him? But then they opened up the show doing a couple things to make us like him. First, I saw him and was immediate like, this man is probably racist. Look at his racist face. Because he had racist face. And then, I mean, it could have, half his face was covered, but it could have been the jaw. I don't know. But something about him, I was like, I don't like him. And it could be that he was replacing Sam, so I automatically, you know, we're not supposed to like him. But then they start the show off by showing how nuanced he is as a person. I thought, first of all, they show that he's in love with a Black. Y'all saw that? She definitely has some flavor. I don't know what she is. She could be Afro-Latina. I don't care. There was melanin in her skin, and she was talking to him in a very familiar way, and I was feeling it. But also, they were showing that this guy right here, Battlestar Galactica, yeah, Black man, which, y'all, every time I see a Black guy like as the sidekick to a white man, I hear like this jingle in the hair, like, oh, you know, Captain America and his Black friend. And that's how I felt. But there's a kinship there that, you know, I appreciate and I could say is great. So we're introduced to this guy and we get to see his humanity, and we get to see that he's well qualified. And I just thought that was funny, you know. So when they finally go and help out Bucky and Sam in the second episode, yeah, Battlestar is a trash name. We know he didn't pick it. He didn't pick it. Talk to people at Marvel. That's who named him. But yeah, when they finally get to meet the scabs, because that's what they are, they're scabs, they're not nice to them. And rightfully so. They both believe that, this is not what Cap wanted. Cap wanted, and this is something else. Did Cap want his shield up? Did he say Sam or no? You get what I'm saying? Like, did he say Sam or no? Or did he just say, Sam, I want you to be the next Captain America? Because those are two very different things. If he said, if Sam is not Captain America, nobody should be, yes, they have a right to be upset. But if he said, Sam, you should be the next Captain America, Captain America needs to live on, and Sam declined, and then they replaced him with this guy, then I feel like they have no reason to be upset. And I think the funny part is they're gatekeeping and they're losing, y'all. They're like, have you ever jumped over a grenade? And my man is like 4. And not just that, live grenades. He jumped over actual live grenades, he said, with his helmet, and put his helmet over there and protected them. But Captain America jumped over 0, y'all. I mean, he did jump over 1, which was admirable, and it showed that he had the courage that he needed. But please remember, that was not a live grenade. It was just a shell. So he just jumped on a piece of metal. This man jumped over live. Now, and I'm protecting him, and he may become a villain. Him and Battlestar kind of toe the line in the comic books, but once again, I don't know what's going on here. You don't know what's going on here. We can guess, perhaps, but we don't truly know. I love how you guys are trying to figure out why did I think he's racist, and everyone's saying the jawline across all the platforms. Yeah, he had racist jawline. He definitely did. And it was something about the way it was on his face, like the great value version, and I was like, yeah, this man definitely drops N-bombs with the hard ER. But yeah, either way, I feel like Sam gave up this mantle, and yeah, he has a right to be upset. Here it is. Kenneth said the uniform looks like Hydra. Cat facts. That's what it is. The modification is closer to Hydra, and I was like, Hydra's for sure racist. They're Nazis, so that makes sense. Comics I learned from last week. Cap stand-ins have black sidekicks is a common. The mask looks like it doesn't fit as well in the helmet. Y'all still talk about the mask. It's obviously the mask and the chin. But yeah, I don't trust the chin, y'all. And it could be the knowledge I have of the character himself. But either way, I don't trust him, man. I really don't. So either way, they don't have a right. He has a right to be upset that they replaced him, but they don't have a right to truly say, this man is not qualified. This man, this is not what Cap wanted. Because at the end of the day, why can't they call Cap? Did he truly die? Where is he? Or did they fake his death? I thought we were going to find out that he faked his death. But either way, what? We don't know, because Cap was extremely vague. He just passed you a shield. So I would love to see the first Black Captain America, Isaiah. Oh, I almost dropped a bomb for later, y'all. Be cool. I'm speculating that they're going to represent that there are more good soldiers than good people, because John Walker remains a big government asset. And I love that word asset. I think it's important to remember that the Avengers, Captain America, you could say is part of the Avengers, but all of these superheroes are considered government assets, and that's why the Sokovia Accords are out and stuff like that. You're supposed to register, and the government or the UN or whoever is supposed to call on you when there's a catastrophe. And the events of Civil War starts out with going on a government mission, right? They got some intel, they went in. It's like the Avengers are a government proprietorship or corporation, and which makes sense. Tony Stark had nothing but government contracts. That's how he lived his life. That's how he made his billions. So it makes sense that they were doing that. Which brings me back to something I didn't even get a chance to talk about. The fact that my man Sam Wilson couldn't get a loan. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy that you can fight someone who got rid of half of the population of the world. Twice. He fought him twice. He fought him in Wakanda, and then he fought him again, at the headquarters. And you can't even get a business loan, even with assets and stuff like that. And versus Vision and his international chick. Yo, is Wanda even a citizen? So Vision and neither one of them are U.S. citizens. Got some place in Jersey, no problem. But he has a business that's survived. And I would you call that the blip-demic, and he can't even get a loan, but they try to take. I was vexed. But let's go back to the questions. Let's see what we got here. I speculated. Oh no, I read that. Y'all all going a little bit too ahead. We gotta stay on task. But here's something. I think Cap gave Sam the shield because Cap high-key know the government can't be trusted. They messy. Yes. I will accept that. It could be, he's not thoughtful and didn't realize, the things that he could go. But as you said, it could be that he's like, government is messy. I worked for the government for so long. That's how I got caught up in this Hydra mess with this Winter Soldier. I need you, who's government trained, friends with the government, to do it. And maybe he did say that. Someone said 5 years without any activity or work history. Yo, but you're telling me that people who had 5 years, this is not 5 years without any activity or work history, yet they died in an unprecedented event that people are aware of. I would like to think that after COVID, hopefully when people are vaccinated, everything's back to full capacity, that they're not like, oh, you didn't work during this pandemic. Why? Duh. Nobody, 40% of the country wasn't working. It's the same thing. 50% of the country was not working during that 5 years. You hiring some of them. Nobody in that bank got blipped? Come on, y'all. Stop it. All right. It made sense. I love Sam, essentially a universal token. He's a regular black dude until people piece together that he's Falcon. Yo, if I'm being real, that's Anthony Mackie in a nutshell, right? He's just like token guy. Sometimes he's like a token black man to the black man, which is crazy to me. But let's talk about Flag Smasher, which we don't know who is Flag Smasher yet. We think it's this redhead girl because she's named after a character from the comics. Once again, I'm not doing any speculations. I'm not here to give you like a breakdown. Talk to my boy Blurred Without Fear for that. But I do want to talk about what their mission is on the show and how that connects to what we're seeing overall. So Flag Smasher, I'm surprised they picked it, but honestly, it makes sense in the way that they're doing it. In this iteration, the Flag Smashers, the Flag Smashers, there are a bunch of them, so it's not just one person, which is normally just one person, but they're a group who believes that that life was better during the blip time, during that 5-year period. Yo, that's a compelling argument. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like, I get it. Like, there's sorrow and despair from losing so many of the people that you're close. Half of the people gone. And it probably hit people disproportionately. So some people may have lost their entire family, right? Like the New York Mets, the entire Mets left. So, yes, that aspect is horrific, terrible, awful. But in the same token, think about the economy, the resources. yo, New York alone, I bet you rent was livable, yo. People probably tight when everybody got snapped back and they're like, oh, I gotta move back to Crown Heights. I've been living, in Park Slope forever. That's a Brooklyn reference if you guys didn't know. But like, just imagine like just half of your competition gone, poverty is probably non-existent. And Thanos talks about that. He's like, yo, the worlds that I did this personally to are thriving. They're doing great. But of course the means wasn't the right way. He should have picked an Aaron Attack on Titan. His little Attack on Titan Easter egg, but and sterilized half the country. I think that would be a little bit more humane. It'd have sorrow, but not the same as like losing your mom, your dad, your sister, your girlfriend in an instant at dinner. So that's just my thoughts here. But I'm very excited to see. I'm hoping that they make them really compelling, because they have room to make this character someone that everybody wants to be a part of, in the Killmonger way. The thing that I really want to see is if they don't do what they did with Killmonger, where they do something explicitly evil to know that they're on the wrong side. Because I think in reality, a lot of it, things go too far. But like when Killmonger kills his girlfriend or his little lover, whatever, and Black Panther, so we could know he was the worst. I just thought we already knew he was terrible. He was a thief and he was doing things behind the book. I felt like he didn't need to kill this black woman for us to know he was bad or on the wrong side. And I think for this, we could definitely do that. Spoilers, y'all. I thought y'all knew that. I put spoilers in the beginning. I put it in the shout out. We talk about Captain America, so dead spoilers for the whole MCU. If you have not been there, time for you to dip. So someone said, Desmond, wouldn't rent go up if all these residential areas have half the residents to pay the landlord? Dub, supply and demand, yo. The reason why it's so high, let's say, especially in places like New York, and I'm going to tell you my experience. I moved to North Carolina where apartment buildings, I went there for college. Apartment buildings were not filled, right? Like they are in New York. In New York, when you need to get an apartment building, first of all, you don't go shopping for an apartment unless you're ready to pay. You got the cash in your hand right then and right there, because the competition is heavy. So you roll up to go see, an apartment. There's 5 people there to see the apartment with you, and they're going to buy right now, right? Versus when I went to North Carolina to look for an apartment, they're like, yo, we'll give you your first rent free, move in whenever you feel like it. You can move in next month, 2 months, let's schedule it, because there's always room. And it was a third of the price for twice the space. In New York, half the population, would have happened if people were smart, was they started combining apartments and then charging the same amount, whatever, just making them bigger. But I say all that to say that I understand that life may have been better for some people with half the population gone, after you got past that grief. Especially since it was such a long period of time, 5 years. So essentially maybe 2 years people were lost, and then after that, whatever. Also, there had to be people who were extremely lucky who lost like friends or acquaintances, but not like their family, people close. So, people were saying we're in NC. I was in Greensboro, but I'm long gone, y'all. I'm in the city. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a picture. I got Flag Smasher for you. I think it's gonna be the entire group, but I'm sure there's gonna be a leader, which would be the big bad, or maybe not. Maybe. Now I know I didn't want to get into theories and stuff like that, but this is just too good to go. I think maybe Battlestar and the new Captain America, Captain Russell, we're gonna call him. I think that maybe they are actually super soldiers as well. And let me tell you why. Couple of things. Both of them got thrown off a moving truck, no problem, and weren't really scared. Look, the way that they jumped into things without like knowing, I knew it. That's number one. They seemed surprised, but not too much. And when Captain America got hit on the truck, he ate it. Yo, he got hit by a super soldier. That's crazy. That's crazy, y'all. Unless, I don't know, maybe his new suit's all vibranium. We don't know. Now that Wakanda's open, I don't know. But I'm thinking that there is a possibility that they're also super soldiers and they didn't want to admit it. Which also kind of goes to the point that maybe they are just as qualified. And, comic book readers, we got to get that taste out of our mouth for both of them, Hilton and, I forgot his last name, Battlestar, because of what we know. Because remember, the MCU, I'm going to say this all through this episode, the MCU is independent of what we read in Marvel Comics. Okay? So, yes, there is a lot of inspiration from Marvel Comics, and of course these are the stories we know and love, but they are the MCU's version of the story. And if WandaVision didn't teach you that, this maybe will. Also, nobody talked about how I got the Captain America shield on my avatar this week, and I feel slighted. I just had to point that out. All right, you guys talk about Power Broker and the whole story. No theories. We ain't doing theories. We here just to talk about it. I feel you. But let's talk about the star of these two episodes. Y'all talk about Power Broker. I want to talk about the first black Captain America. Now, I said I wouldn't get into comic origins, but I feel like in this area, I feel like in this particular instance, I just want to go into the comics just to give some insight on this character, but also because it seems like he is very similar to comic iteration. So, this is Isaiah Bradley, y'all. He was Black Captain America, and of course he he didn't get great reception. And the way that he became Captain America was totally different than the way that Steve Rogers came. Okay? Definitely want to see that flashback of Bucky and Isaiah fight. But before we did that, let's do this. All right, so real quick, y'all. Someone said I thought she had the shield the whole time. If you guys are talking about Peggy, she probably did, and that's because Steve Rogers was back. Right? Steve Rogers came back and lived his life. So maybe she did, but I digress. He was like, yo, give it back, whatever. But y'all get me off task with these comments. Let me go back to Isaiah Bradley because he's the one I want to talk about. All right, so let's go back to the Tuskegee syphilis case. This is a little black history from you, but this is also why when y'all like, oh, Frankie, you're too political, you're always bringing in your feelings, let us just enjoy the comics. The comic creators don't want you to just enjoy the comics. And let me tell you why, because this man right here, let me get, where my mouse at? This man right here, okay, is slap dab in the middle of the intersection of comics and real life, right? The Tuskegee syphilis case happened a while ago. But what essentially happened was the scientists came in and said they were treating for this black community for syphilis. And what they truly were doing was injecting them with syphilis, or if they already had syphilis, was giving them a placebo. They were giving them both placebos, but what ended up happening was they wanted to see the long-term effects of syphilis, which they could just research some old findings of how Henry VIII and, all those other nasty older white men were living when they had syphilis with no penicillin. But of course they had to do it on black people, and when they were dying they were just saying like, oh, it wasn't working, they were lying. And with this black Captain America, it was the same thing. He was part of a platoon, which black people have been fighting for America, y'all, back way past War of 1812, the Alamo, they always get a black platoon, okay? Slaves, whatever. Even when we were slaves, we were fighting. We actually fought in the Revolutionary War thinking that we were going to get free, and then George Washington was like, you thought because you risked your life? No. So in World War One and in World War Two, of course, we were front row center. We were going in the most dangerous missions, things like that. So, of course, he enlists, and him and his squad, which was more than just him. There were black people, there were white people in the squad, but primarily black people they were doing the testing on. They added in whatever. But what would happen is they were using a version of the serum. Remember, they lost the serum. They were using a version of the serum, and it was making them get so muscular they would just explode like when you blow a bag up. And then they were telling their family, they're lying to their family and telling them that these people died in combat. So you think, and they're like, we don't got no body, but there's no body because they exploded. The body on the walls. So the family doesn't get to grieve, right? And this black body is just thrown away, right? Okay, cool. This guy, Isaiah, is the first one to do well. And he mentions this. So then two things happen to him. He's always tested and he's put it in to go against like the Winter Soldier. And then, I'm sorry, I didn't say it was less than 300. It's 300. I see what you're saying. It was 300 black soldiers that were initially, sorry, David, you're right. I misspoke. It was 300 black soldiers that was tested on, David, but then they did also give some serum to some white people after it was perfected. But thank you for clearing that up. But either way, my point is here. Captain America reliving, back to my original question, Captain America reliving and being married to Peggy Carter had to have known about this program. There's no way Peggy Carter didn't know about the program. She was an initial participant, member, researcher in the original. So if this program continued, which it did, that's what they're showing. It did. Peggy had to know. She worked for the U.S. government. She didn't work for the English government. She worked for the U.S. government. And then she moved to S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's no way S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't know that it was still going on. And in turn, Captain America didn't. So Steve Rogers was home knitting. I don't know what he was doing in the 50s. But he was in there, doing whatever, knowing that there's a black man who got the serum, who is being treated a certain way. And he comes back to the present and is like, yo, this new black man needs to do it. But it's interesting to see. I'm just so happy that they introduced him. They gave him his homage. And I'm glad that they also showed his grandson. Now, given that Tuskegee was in 32 to the 70s, Isaiah mentions that he was active in 51, which would suggest that he was active after Steve was frozen. Evan, Evan, what I'm talking about is that Steve had returned in Endgame. So after he returns in Endgame, he lives his life out. So he lives through the 50s, the 60s. He lives his entire life out that he was frozen. And he lives it married to Peggy Carter. So if that's the case, he knows about this stuff. But yeah, everybody kept their mouths shut about it. And that's the thing. Steve knows how to keep things classified. Maybe Peggy didn't tell him, but I doubt it. And maybe he's going on some and justify the means, or maybe Peggy didn't know the extension, or maybe it's just white privilege, right? They're like, yeah, he's doing some tests. I got tested on, right? Oh, they sent him here. I fought Thanos. How dangerous is it? But that's crazy. It's just crazy to me. Now, did I put him in there? Oh, I got a picture of the original. Look how D's he is. I know he's old in the other one, but I hope whoever they cast to be his younger version, I want to be this D's. Okay? Michael, is his name Michael? The guy who played Luke Cage and bigger. If The Rock was younger, I'd say The Rock. But I want him to be this big, y'all. But what I really want to talk about is his grandson. I couldn't find this shot, y'all, in the page, so we got to go off the announcement. But, okay, his grandson, played by, I forgot his name, but he's from the story about the Central Park 5. His grandson becomes Patriot. And truth be told, and so, they may say that he's gonna inherit his father's ability or what. Michael J. White, y'all, Michael J. White old. I love him, but he old. I want someone young to play him, but either way, I'm digressing. But Patriot is a great alternative, because once again, I don't want Falcon to give up Falcon. I want Falcon. It's something he established. Who said he wanted to be Dusty Captain America? Maybe he feels like Captain America is not his steez. Maybe he's like, I don't want to wear the name America on here. You know, like I said, I don't know if Trump was here during this time, but it's clear that racism and profiling has been abundant in this universe. And it could be that he was like, yo, I'm not trying to be represented. You know, I'm not trying to be the representative of America. I don't resonate. And maybe this guy does. So I'm really excited to see that. Just check these comments and see people who want to play Aldous Hodge. Yo, Aldous Hodge could be part of the Black Adam movie and still be here. And you guys are mentioning something that I thought was dope. And another reason why I think he doesn't want to be Captain America, I think he's one of those people who's like, I don't want to be the black anything, is when he walks in and they're like Black Falcon. And this kid says, oh, you're Black Falcon. And he says, yo, because I'm black, like, you could be called, should I call you Black Kid? And in my head, I would have been, if he asked me that, I'd be like, yeah, that's what people call me, Black woman. Like, they wouldn't just call me that woman. They'd say the Black woman, just like they call you the Black man. And I think, I do get it. I don't like when they call it black. Yeah, black lightning. Black lightning, not even black. It's blue. But, so I get that aspect of it. But it's an American thing. And I think that's something else that he's like, I'm not trying to be the representative of America. I want to be me and protect America in my own skin. And I'm cool. Oh, the guy playing Jackson Mortal Kombat. Yes, Mekhi Brooks, the one who plays Jimmy Olsen, maybe. He'd be a good alternative. That boy D's, and he not even as D's. If y'all old enough to watch True Blood, if you guys watched True Blood when I was out, he was eggs in True Blood, and he was ridiculously swole, like so swole it didn't make sense. So I'd be interested to see that as well. All right, let's see what else we got here. I got a little book for y'all because I'll be prepared, you know what I'm saying. Yes, I'm black. Oh no, what's wrong with my, oh, I'm done here. Wow. All right, I thought I had more things like on my other screen for you guys, but that's wrong. So I'm just gonna go through my books and see if there's anything that I missed in my notes. Oh yes. It's more about the gatekeeping. There's so much that I missed there. So y'all peep that Hilton, the new black Captain America, the new new scab Captain America, we'll call him Scabbed in America, he went to like a HBCU. Yeah, because it was supposed to be him returning to his high school, but that high school was wild black. And I think that's a key point as why I liked him, because the first two people he interacted with and clearly respected were black, and he rolled out and it looked like Beyonce's Homecoming. A black man is playing and he's there comfortable in his skin, and I was like, dang, I like this guy. I don't care how racist his jaw is. I support him. And then I saw how qualified. Like, it was a great way to deliver exposition, him doing that interview and her talking through it. And it was clear he was qualified. It was clear when he went to meet up with when he went to go save Sam, how qualified he was. And I just think it's great. I think it's great how qualified he was. And I love that they highlighted what a real marching band looks like. Not saying that the other marching bands are fake, but I have to say I went to University of Arkansas for grad school, and going from an HBCU to the University of Arkansas, the football games were more live, but then the band was bud. So I was like, how y'all got this fire football team? And someone came with a xylophone, you know, and I think that's like one of those. And I just was like, this is not a band. This is not a band. And this Captain America know what a band is. He in there dancing, got the dancers, the streamers, probably color guards, all that. I like with him. White people grew up, black people marry them, friend them, still be racist as fuck. Yo, Desmond, you true. That's true. Now Hendrix is saying, you don't think that was a move to pander to the public? Just asking. I don't know. This was his high school. That's the thing. If he was at some random school that he chose, I'd be like, this is pandering. But this is his high school that he went to. Flight of the Bumblebee. So I think, yeah, I think he was surrounded by black people. Charming. Someone said, did Fake Cap go to HBCU high school? I think he was around more black people. Which is common, right? There are white people who like live in Harlem or whatever. So I think that's where that came from. But I think that was interesting. So all in all, let's get with ratings, right? We got 10 more minutes. So if I had to rate episode 1, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It was good. I was interested. It's funny. It wasn't as, let's say, uneventful as WandaVision episode 1 and 2. But something for me, WandaVision, at the end of episode 1, I was like, something is going on here. I need to know. But by the end of Captain America's episode 9, I was like, all right, I'll see where this goes. But by the end of episode 2 of Captain America, I keep on calling Captain America, sorry y'all, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was hooked. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. So for episode 2, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think that's fair, y'all. Of course, there are things to be desired, and it's not like marks against it, but I just want to see where it's going, and I bet you I'd even change my rating like halfway through the series as I see some things that I noticed that I liked, or when it had questions about. Number 1, why Bucky pressed Sam about taking the mantle. Okay, he never offered on his own, and I get it. He's like, a criminal and stuff like that. But why? I didn't like it. And I know he's not supposed to be likable, but I don't know. It just didn't ring true to me. Also, though, I do like that he's getting a personality. Like, of course he was brainwashed, and maybe that's why he didn't have one. But, he was like super emo with his long weave, and I didn't like him. But now, Short Cap, who, y'all, obviously, I got this listening to For All Nerds, if you guys don't listen, but it's clear that he was getting some, excuse my language, y'all, some pussy in Wakanda. It's clear, y'all. It's clear. That's why they call him the White Wolf, right? What fighting was he doing in Wakanda? None. Unless you're saying fighting vagina. That's all he was doing. And also he was talking about the reprieve or whatever he got in Wakanda. So maybe that's it. And finally, when they finally go to get him, like, yo, we got to fight Thanos, where you at? He walked out of what's it called? A little hut. We like, what hut is that? You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I don't know. I just think that he may have gotten some black tang, and that's why he's so familiar with Falcon now. Anything else? I like how they mentioned Sharon. I like how they mentioned Sharon Carter, which means she's going to come up. And I think it'd be interesting to see where her thoughts are on the new Captain America. Does she think Falcon should get it? I wonder if she's just a little bit prejudiced. Because you can have like biases and not be racist. And that may be her. People said change the name to Black Falcon and a White Wolf. Agreed. But yeah. Couple things before we sign off. Invincible is out, sponsored today's podcast, so you guys definitely check out Invincible on Amazon Prime. And beyond the ad, right, I wouldn't have taken the ad if I saw it was but I would have just like did something generic, but it's incredible, and it's dark and gritty. I don't know if you guys read the Invincible comic book, but if you guys like The Boys and that type of thing, definitely check that out. And I wanted to use the last 5 minutes to ask you guys, I'm right here on the comics. Are you guys excited that Black Widow has finally been given a date? Are you going to be paying $30 to be home? Or are you going to go to the movie theaters? Because that'll certainly be out. Yeah, Glenn. Yo, what's up, Glenn? He said Invincible is fire. Absolutely, Invincible's fire. Yo, someone said Desmond said Bucky smacking cheeks with the Phantom arm. Y'all, you don't need 2 arms to slap cheeks, especially as a super soldier. Come on, yo, keep up. And we don't keep up, yo. Too many streaming services. Yo, if you got Amazon Prime, you got Prime Video. You good. And if you don't have Amazon Prime, get it. Not just because Amazon Prime is incredible, but also because The Boys is on it, and The Boys is incredible. But yeah, I'm asking y'all, what do y'all think about Black Widow before we sign off? Like, are you guys excited about it? Are you guys like, eh? And Paula Francis, dang, you don't have to go like all in Francis. You could just say Frankie. We're all friends here. I'm tired of waiting, but I'll be paying and staying home. I can't get sick. Agreed. Yo, $30. If you get 2 friends to give you 10, I think it'd be worth it. And if you invest, but if you don't invest, y'all, I just invested in a home theater system. It's changed my life. It's changed my life. Everything I watch, from anime to especially, Captain America and stuff, like, changes your life. So if you don't have a home system, I would say go to movie theaters. Just be safe. Go at a weird time. But if not, yeah. And I mean, if you watch it on your soundbar or on your regular TV, I'm not shaming you. I'm just saying, I do have to say, of all the ish I was talking about of Justice League, when I rewatched it in the theater, in my home theater, it was a totally different experience. Still didn't like it the best, but I liked it more than I did before. So let's see. Anything else? Yes and no. I wish Black Widow was coming out in May. It was supposed to come out last year, so I mean, whenever. But my thing is, like, she's dead. I don't know. I don't know if it's that I know it's gonna be good. Let me say that. I know it's gonna be good. But I don't know. I think it should have came out before WandaVision and Captain America, because some of the stuff that we watch may not be a surprise to us, or it may not be important because it's been fixed, or what. I just think it's been too late. Y'all are typing way too fast for me to keep up. But yeah, either way, I am clappy. I am happy that it's coming out. Just so I can be over with it. Like, let's see it. Let's get on. Let's see what's next. But yo, you said we paying $30 for the post-credit scene. Facts. But it's not just that. Is that post-credit scene is gonna be old. This movie's supposed to come out way before like 3 of these projects came out. So like, how is this movie gonna come? I don't know. Or maybe it'll fill in some blanks that we need. Either way, y'all know I gotta watch it. And I'll give you guys my honest opinion. I know you guys think I'm sour, but I say like nice things all the time. I just talk about how good Invincible and The Boys are. So yeah, if it's good, I'll say it'll be good. And if it's bad, of course I'm gonna, wallow in how bad it is. But yeah, next week, for that show, we're gonna have Patty on here. We're gonna talk about the ending of Attack on Titan. So next week is an anime week. Definitely check that out. I think you guys are gonna love it. You guys are gonna love Patty. Very New York, very knowledgeable in the anime space. And I've done 2 weeks here in comic book land. It's time to go back to anime. I think you guys are really gonna like what we have. And if you haven't watched Attack on Titan season 4, 100% recommend it. It is violent but also tactical. You start the series out thinking you're just watching like something gory, and then it turns into something even more, and now you're thinking and stuff. It's definitely worth the watch. So I definitely say tune in for that. So check me out next week with Patty. You're gonna love it. Thank you all. We had a solid 40 to 50 people, the entire chat in here. So thank you guys for rolling up. I do love that Attack on Titan, y'all. I'm a plug that. And then we could also talk about My Hero Academia, which is streaming tomorrow. So if you live in New York, you guys may catch me at one of these comic book stores this weekend. I'm doing a little promo for Invincible. So if you go to Midtown Comics, Forbidden Planet, for Fourth World Comics, or what's the fourth one? Galaxy Collectibles. You may see me at one of them, more than likely Midtown Comics, but I'm not saying which one really. So check it out. But this weekend they're giving out free swag. It's pretty drippy. I say roll up. If you definitely live in the city, definitely pull up for that. Anytime this weekend, go to one of those places. But until